I bought this kit on eBay. It's a bunch of plastic gears. I needed it just for a couple gears. These small gears for the motor. I had to add a gear here. For the steering. See, I had to do this for the steering to work. And I had to position the gear correctly so that it'll work. And then this gear here, right here, this gear, this bottom portion of the gear, the little motor will turn. So I have to unplug this wire, and then I'm going to pop the motor out of here and install it in the old car. So I have to figure out how to get it out of here. I don't think it's screwed in, it's just sitting in there, probably. Oh, I see what's holding it. It's just clip tabs. Okay, the motor's out. Hopefully it'll fit in there good. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's gonna fit pretty good, but I have to change this arm and put a gear. Get the knife under here and do that, and it'll pop off eventually. See. Now I just have to get this little gear to fit on here. There we go. Okay. Take the motor. Install the motor in here. It's like the gear. See that? The gear, need to readjust the gear because it's too far out. It needs to go closer to the housing of the motor to engage the other gear. Now we have to take this thing and put this cover on, which is a little tricky. Because you have to line up the pins with the two holes. The first one lines up easy, but this second one doesn't because it can move. See, it can move up and down freely. Oh, let me put the wires through this. Okay. See, got the first one in. That goes in easy. This one is the tricky one. And it's going to catch on the other gears. Best to do is press it up with your finger as you're putting this cover on. Almost got it there. Okay, I got the pin in there. Now let's turn it and see if it's spinning. This is the fun part. The gears might not line up properly, so you have to take it apart and readjust the gears until you get it correct. I repositioned the gear on the motor more in the center of the shaft. Let's see if this is better. Okay, looks good. Put this gear back in. Looks like they're lining up better. Now we gotta put the cover back on here. See that? Let me see. See that? Hopefully they'll show up on camera. The shafts are moving, so everything's connected, and it feels like the motor's turning. What you do is you're careful with it. Turn it over. Put the shaft on the motor. Doesn't always turn because of the torque in here. See that? Hopefully you can see that on camera. The shaft on the motor is turning as well. So this is all set. Hopefully, even though the steering setup was different, it was for another car. Hopefully it will work okay in this car. Doesn't work, you'll have to take this apart again and make adjustments. I'm not going to mess with that until later. Right now, I'm just going to put this together. Then I have to figure out how to take the board from this car and put it into this car. Now, I'm not going to use this motor because I want to keep it as original as possible. I've had this car a while, and I think somebody already gutted it. I don't remember why this motor wasn't here, but it has the original motor in it that drives the car, and the motor still works, so I'm going to keep it original. As you can see, the steering now works pretty good. It's a little controller, so this is right to turn right. See, they turn right, then they turn left. Still working on the rear wheels because I have to connect these here and solder them and figure out the right way to hook them up. But when I test it, it sounds like there's an issue in the gearbox, so I'm gonna have to open this up and mess with the gearbox. I think I remember there was something, one of the gears in there gets loose if I remember right. See if I can get it to work at all. This is what you have to do to figure out how to hook up the wires. You have to touch them to the motor and then try to make it move. See, it's not working. But I have them hooked correctly here. When it works, it'll go forward a little bit. Now it's not doing nothing. There it goes. I'll worry about that later. But for now, turn this off here. See, I resoldered these as well because the soldering on here wasn't the best. Alright, and this thing was only $10. This RC car. Now I'm going to open up the gearbox and I'll show you what's in there. Strange gearbox. Wow, look at that. The gears aren't even contacting at all now. See, it's only got 3 gears. I think the issue is this gear. Why isn't this gear in the Wait, something missing here? Okay, there's a pin there. Plastic pin. Which doesn't make any sense. Maybe I need to replace that plastic pin with the metal pin. I think the issue is the little plastic rod used to be there and it's broken. I'm gonna have to replace that with something else. I gotta get a tiny drill bit and I'll probably just use a piece of copper wire. Piece of copper here. See, it holds the gear perfectly fine. I took the motor out so I can see through here on the other side where the hole's gonna go. Gonna drill this hole as close to the center as I can. The steering's not perfect on the car, and this electronic unit here with the batteries, because of the steering thing here, it's so big, has an issue because this thing with the steering gears is so big that this sticks up. You can't put the body on. The shell doesn't go on all the way. So what I might do is, inside here, I have it glued in. I have to take the glass part, or the fake glass, this stuff out of here. And I don't know why this is here, but I can just cut this out. This piece of plastic that sticks down, just remove that part. It won't hurt the rest of it. Not sure why. Maybe it was just the way it was built. But the car's not very fast. It's weird because it goes faster in reverse than it does forward. It has a little boost button too. It's like the Tumbler I made did. It's the same type of cheap RC car from Walmart. It's only $10. Well, but this car was, I found it, I think, at a Goodwill store. This thing's got to be from the 80s. And it probably was, it had a little remote like this with a wire that ran to the car. Let's try the boost button, see what happens. I think there's also an issue in the gearbox where the plastic gears, the little shaft goes through. I think the shaft is slipping on the gears because you can hear it. So if you pick the car up and hold the wheels so that they can't spin, and you push the remote to go forward, watch. The motor's still able to spin. So you lose that's probably why the car's slow. You're losing a little bit of the torque. Probably just because the gears are old. See, reverse, it's even faster. But I accomplished what I wanted to. Restore the shell. Looks really nice now. RC car into a remote control car. Or even if the remote control unit in the car broke, you can replace it with another one like this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment.